that he didn't even know about. They delayed his treatment, and he died because of it.
Oh my gosh, I hate health care. Actually, the truth is, that man received health care, lived another 3 or 4 years. They can't find a truthful example of health care sob stories, so they have to make them up. That's not the only one they made up. But why would they worry about the truth when the entire game plan on health care was designed by a convicted felon while written in prison? By the way, a better way to report what the president just said, that 14,000 people lose their health insurance every single day, would be this. If you average all the numbers out over, just kind of look at them over the last 10 months, about 14,000 people lose their jobs every single day. Thus, they lose their health care insurance. Maybe the president should worry about jobs. No, but that's not part of the prison plan. But what else is? Well, deals. We need to systematically forge relationships with large sectors of the business-employer community. Oh, and they have. The administration has teamed up with big pharmaceuticals to sell this debacle. And that's not the only ones they've teamed up with. In fact, John McCain just spoke out about this over the weekend. Here it is.
I don't know what deal has been cut in Senator Reid's office, as the deal was cut with the pharmaceutical and companies, and the deal was cut with the AMA, and the deal was cut with the Hospital Association. I know what the deal was with pharma. They told them that they would oppose drug reimportation from Canada, and they told them, the pharma, that they would not allow competition for Medicare patients. So I don't know what the deal that was cut that bought them, but I know that deals have been going on, and I know they're unsavory.
AARP is in on those deals. Throughout this entire game plan, there's no concern for actual facts. It's just about getting a health care bill done with no regard for what's actually happening. Oh, it's spooky stuff because it transforms America into a progressive dream. The next goal, we need to convince political leaders that they owe their elections, at least in part, to the groundswell of support of universal health care, and that they face political peril if they fail to deliver on universal health care in 2009. This is why they are discrediting the Tea Parties. They have to say those are nobodies. That's nothing. They need to do it. Now, have they done this? Watch this.
We're trying to use the power of persuasion. And if that doesn't work, we're going to use the persuasion of power.
Never mind the fact that the groundswell of support amounts to a whopping 35% for this plan, which is the same as Hillary Care in the 90s, 35%. Nobody wants this thing, and yet they're still going. They're not afraid of you. They're afraid of that guy. The pressure that has been brought to bear on politicians has been unbelievable. Pelosi, Reid, Obama have threatened and arm-twisted their way through nearly everyone in Washington. The president himself has met with Blue Dog Democrats to let them know their political futures are on the line. They're also buying people off in their own party, like Mary Landrieu. $300 million deal for Louisiana. So, have they done that? You bet. Next, we do not need to agree on the advanced components of a plan, but we must foster a process that can ultimately yield a consensus. Have they done that? Oh, you bet. 2,000 pages. You can see it happening today with the abortion diversion. They don't agree on the components of the plan. Most people in Congress don't even know the components of the plan. They just got to get it passed, just get it out. They'll tweak it, fit whatever it is they want later. Next one, over the next 2 years, we must design and organize a massive national field program. Unions, Organizing for America, ACORN, HCAN, AARP have jumped on board. Watch this ad field program.
The health insurance industry makes $25 billion a year in profit. No wonder the insurance lobby spent millions trying to stop the Senate from even debating health insurance reform. It's about taking on the insurance companies, making health care affordable for our families. No more denying coverage if you're sick.
Special interest groups are trying to block progress on health care reform, derailing the debate with myths and scare tactics.
Myths and scare tactics. SEIU, meanwhile, have been delivering beatdowns for health care. The political equivalent have been delivered to Walmart. The latest is Comcast. Next one, we're up to 8. All of these have been done so far. We're up to 8. Church and unions. Here it is. We must focus especially on mobilization of the labor movement and the faith community. Again, Andy Stern, SEIU, mobilize the arm-twisting effort, as well as convincing rabbis, pastors, anybody on the pulpit to preach the healthcare reform gospel from the pulpit. You ask yourself this one question. In the last 6 months, have you heard this message come from your pastor, priest, or rabbi? Anything about social justice? Anything about healthcare? If so, number 8 has been achieved in your church. I have been sent so many tips on this one. I've been looking at church websites. I cannot believe what I am seeing. There's several of these websites. You can go 3 clicks from your church website and you are at HCAN. Here's the next goal. We must systematically leverage the connections and the resources of a massive array of institutions and organizations of all types. Gee, where have I heard that one before?
One of the, I think, the tragedies of the civil rights movement was because the civil rights movement became so court-focused. I think that there was a tendency to lose track of the political and community organizing and activities on the ground that are able to put together the actual coalitions of power through which you bring about redistributive change.
Actual coalitions of power. Hello. And we're counting them down all the way up to number 10. To be successful, we must put in place commitments for hundreds of millions of dollars to be used to finance paid communications and mobilization once the battle is joined. Money, money, money. The amount of money and number of organizations that they have gathered for this fight is stunning. Tides Foundation. SEIU spent $60 million to elect Obama. HCAN has donated $25 million in the last year to help pass Obama's health care. But they need that money to be able to combat the will of the vast majority of the American people. Creamer, in his prison plan, writes, to win, we must not just generate understanding, but emotion, fear, revulsion, anger, and disgust. Have they done that?
If that same diabetic ends up getting their foot amputated, that's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 immediately. The surgeon is reimbursed. You know what? I make a lot more money if I take this kid's tonsils out.
Now, desperate Republicans and their well-funded allies are organizing angry mobs, just like they did during the election.
Wow, angry mobs and fear, disgust. Obama and Pelosi have dealt in the politics of fear since the inauguration, while accusing the right of doing that. The Obama administration is trying to stir up emotion, revulsion, and fear to peddle this massive government takeover for the progressive plan, developed in prison. In the process, they have seemingly followed his plan from a convicted felon. They have followed it to the letter. All of them. All of them have been done. That's got to be a coincidence. What are the odds? Can somebody in Vegas, Steve Wynn, you watching? Can you compute the odds of this and tell me what the odds are of this going right in Vegas? What a coincidence, huh? Oh, and by the way, another pure coincidence you'll see here in the acknowledgments right at the beginning. Here, he actually says, hey, by the way, Saul Alinsky, you're an inspiration. Huh? Another pure coincidence that Creamer predicted all of this would happen in 2009 after a progressive president was elected. And then he went right to work after he got out of prison for the Obama campaign. Trained volunteers at Camp Obama. Whoa, what an amazing coincidence that he was at the White House with these guys at the first state dinner. Wow. Okay, I'm pretty sure convicted felons are usually barred from such events. At least somebody would raise a flag there. But nobody noticed. Nobody noticed because somebody else snuck into the party. Yeah, pure coincidence, I'm sure. But instead of speculating, you know what we could do? If I just had a way to communicate with the White House. Wouldn't it be easy? I mean, what an easy way.